What's up, guys? Thanks so much for clicking on the video. My name is Leah, and let's recap and review Married to Medicine. This is season 11, episode 1, and I'm too excited. If you don't know, Married to Medicine is one of my favorite reality shows. I'm just so happy they back. I'm happy that the doctors are back. Okay, so let's get into this video. All right, y'all. So, y'all know sometimes before we get into it, we get a little spicy, just a little bit, all right? So, first up is this tweet from Quad. So, Quad quote tweeted, I think it was like either OMFG Reality TV's Twitter or Jay's reality blog where they post the sneak peeks. And I think the sneak peek was of Heavenly apologizing and Simone being like, I don't know if I'm going to apologize. So she said this: I appreciate you at Dr. Heavenly for having the ability to self-reflect and not allow pride and ego to keep you from apologizing. Hashtag respect, hashtag think big, hashtag better than most, hashtag accountability, hashtag correction. So then Dr. Heavenly quote tweeted it and put like heart emojis, the praying hands, and like the flexing emoji. So it looks like Quad really appreciates that Heavenly was the first one out of the girls to come and apologize to her. Or maybe it was that Jackie. Either way, she's appreciating the apology and the self-reflection. So the next thing I want to talk about is Bravo Fan Fest. So if you don't know, Bravo Fan Fest happened last week down in Miami, and a few of the Married to Medicine girls were there. So Toya and Simone were on a panel together, and they were asked about their relationship with Quad. Well, Toya's response ruffled Quad's feathers, and she posted a tweet in response. But let me play the clip for you first.
What can you both say about your current relationship with Quad?
Quad was on a beautiful island, okay? That island, Quad was living her best life on the island, but she missed us.
She misses, do you miss her?
She missed us. Yes. But you know what? You just have to tune in. Tune in.
You really are going to have to tune in, but to see Quad coming back around this year, to see her happier than we've seen her in a long time was a good thing.
Why is she so happy? Is that something we're gonna get to see?
That's what you're gonna get to see,
Absolutely.
baby.
You can actually see it on her IG.
So Quad didn't like the shade about, she was on a lovely island and she was enjoying her time. So she responded back to Toya by saying, watch it now at Toya Bush Harris, tread lightly. Tune in tomorrow at 9 p.m. ETA to watch the premiere of Married to Medicine season 11 only on Bravo. Now, I didn't think anything that Toya said was that bad. Like, to be honest, girl, you were on an island by yourself. It was beautiful. And you're back because you want to be back. I don't think you're back because the other girls desperately wanted you back. Like, it is just, and I mean, also the fans, a large majority of the fans wanted you back as well. So she ain't really say nothing that wrong to me. So the next thing I want to talk about is this panel that Toya was on. It had Portia, Lisa Barlow, Kiki from Real Housewives of Miami, and Mia Thornton. And they were asking about like who needs to be more unfiltered. And Toya said Jackie. She was like, I want Jackie to mean what she says and says what she mean. I want her to say it without having Heavenly back her up and just be open and honest. And for a lot of people, feel like what Toya said wasn't wrong. Because it does seem at times that Jackie does use Heavenly to say what she wants her to say. But I'm hoping this season we see Jackie open up a little bit more. So the next panel was Simone. She was on there with Heather Gay, Shep, some dude from Summer House, and Wendy from Real Housewives of Potomac. And they were talking about the Bravo curse on marriages. And Simone basically says she doesn't believe in the curse. She said, honestly, Bravo saved my marriage because me and my husband are stubborn. And if we didn't have like the visual of like what we were doing to each other or the fan support or her cast member support, then they probably would be divorced. She also stated that people already come to the show and their marriages are in disarray or they already have a crack that they haven't dealt with, and the show just makes it bigger. And in that context, I do agree with that because it's like once you visually see it yourself and you have the input of fans making it even more apparent your issues in your marriage, it makes it easier for you guys to drift apart. And so the last thing is a tweet from Heavenly where somebody by the name of Prince K Gotti said, not buying this tea and contest a friendship, it's random. Hashtag married to medicine. And Heavenly quote tweeted by saying, right now, how did they even know each other? And then she had laughing emojis. I'll guess as the season goes on, they'll explain it to us more, or we can just say that because they have the same enemy, which is Heavenly, they decided to click up and they were the ones to introduce them to the show. But again, I think Contessa was actually invited to Sweet Tea's and Gregory's wedding, so they have to know her to some extent. Maybe obviously Gregory knows her, and that's how they formed a friendship. So the episode opens up and we at Simone and Cecil's house. We see them in, Cecil's man cave in the basement, and we find out that they're going to be celebrating their 35th like college anniversary. So they want to do like a huge party, and the theme is going to be Freaknik, but they're calling it Whitnik, which I think is cute. I like the fact that they put this in because around the time of the Freaknik documentary on Hulu, Cecil had that viral picture of him and his brother, and I think some people said that there were pictures in there that like they couldn't figure if it was Cecil, and then Cecil confirmed that that one picture was him and his brother. So I like that it was in there. So we find out that in the beginning, Freaknik was really for college students. Simone went to Spelman, Cecil went to Morehouse, and Cecil was trying to make sure I wasn't a part of the wild part of Freaknik, okay? I was part of the inception of it, when it was somewhat wholesome, okay? But he basically was like, Freaknik was for all the students that couldn't go home for like the holidays, and so they would go to the park and like people would bring, their grills, they would have like their drinks and food, like just food, just fellowshipping and having a good time. Basically a big tailgate that turns into a party. So they want to invite everybody and people who went to the surrounding schools in Georgia. So Cecil ends up asking Simone, so who all is invited? And she was like, I invited all the girls, that I talked to. And Cecil is like, and he was like, who is that? And he was like, Simone's like, you know who I talked to? Why are you playing? And he was like, well, what about Quad? And Cecil looked at him like, what about her? What about her? Okay. What about her? All right. And so then it switches. Well, I'll just do it together. So then Simone ends up being like, well, me and Quad were cool after the reunion. And then, like, after the social media got involved and people voiced their opinions about the reunion, Quad stopped talking to me. She stopped returning to my texts or my phone calls. So she she just went dark on me. And so Simone was like, so since she went dark on me, I decided to leave her in the dark. So it is what it is. And I don't fault Simone for that part, because it's like, yeah, like we were cool. You came to my dressing room, we cried, we hugged, and we said we were going to move forward. And then when you looked at social media and took all these other people's opinion who are just watching a show, and me and you had a conversation, yeah, I'll leave you where you was at too. Like, because clearly if your opinion can be swayed like that because of me, then I just, piece up A-Town out. I'm out, you know what I mean? So I didn't fault her for that. But Cecil ends up being like, well, how come you and Heavenly are able to move forward? And Simone ends up explaining like, Heavenly will at least call me over to like hang out, and we'll go to her house and vice versa. Like, we'll do things beyond this show. Whereas with Quad, it's pretty much like a surface level friendship. So I'm not that invested in it like that, basically. That's basically what it is. So we then see a scene of Heavenly going to Quad's house. I love the Quad's backyard. I just love it. And so Heavenly has a vase full of flowers. Mind you, the way that she was holding it, I knew it was going to fall because she had it like cocked in here. And I'm like, Heavenly, that's glass. And it didn't look like one of the fat flower vases that Quad ended up putting the flowers in after the actual glass vase that Heavenly had it in busted because it slipped and fell down because it was like a cylinder glass vase. And I was just like, yeah, girl, that was gonna fall. So Heavenly was getting out her car. The thing drops. She like, here we go. Here we go. So she goes up into Quad's house. Quad ends up saying in her confessional, I was handing out apologies the last time y'all saw me. So I feel like apologies should be given to me as well. So then we find out that Heavenly did apologize to Quad, where she pretty much was just kind of like, I went back and reflected on how last season was, and I felt like it was too much. Like everybody was coming at you, like, and we all do bad things. We all say stupid things that we regret that we can take back. We all sometimes take it too far. She was like, I do that. I know I do that. And I just feel like it was wrong of us. And she was like, I normally apologize and don't mean it, but I'm apologizing to you right now. And I truly mean what I say. So then I think Heavenly ends up asking Quad, like, has she talked to any of the girls? And Quad is like, no. And she was like, not really. So then I think Heavenly brings up Simone. And Quad says, the last time I saw Simone, it was real bad. Like what she did was so distasteful. And I feel like I am owed an apology. Now, I'm going to stick to what I said in my review. I didn't think what Simone did was that bad because Simone was trying to make a point that, girl, you always say we're not there for you. We don't come to you when you need us, but I was there for you at one of the lowest points in your life of when your niece unfortunately drowned in the pool in your house. Now, do I think Simone should have like gave the details, like the little girl drowned? No. But did I fault her for bringing that up? No, because the point stands. Like, girl, you always saying that we not there for you, that we're not like your real friends. But then when you have a serious situation happen that really truly affects your life, I showed up. I was there for you because I care about you. And I feel like she was valid in making that point. Now, did the way she went about it was not the best? No, but the point still stands. Hey, so what's it called? Quad ends up saying, like, in order for her and Simone to move forward, Simone has to take accountability. And I feel like, yes, but you also have to take accountability too, Quad. You act like you never do anything wrong or you never cross the line with people and like you're always the victim, but you have hurt people. That's why it was warranted that you should have gave Eugene and Toya an apology, because that mess you pulled, I think it was season 9 or 8, where you were basically accusing them of stealing out of Anila's home. That was shiesty. That was real shiesty. And you should have apologized for that. It is what it is. So Heavenly says, you guys truly love each other. Y'all been friends for a long time. They end up showing like a montage of Simone and Cecil being friends since like 2012. And she was just like, y'all just need to talk because y'all do love each other. The next scene we have is of Sweet Tea and Gregory. So Sweet Tea doesn't know how to swim. Gregory was talking to Phaedra, and Phaedra was like, well, bring her by the house. Aiden, which is Phaedra's oldest son, who I think is like 13 or 14, knows how to swim, and he does pretty well helping people, like teaching people to a certain extent how to swim. So she's like, all right, bet. So they're driving to the house. We see them in their confessional. We find out that they've been banging like rabbits, trying to get pregnant. We know last season at the reunion, Sweet Tea let it be known that her surgery for her endometriosis went well and that her tubes are cleared. And so I'm like, if y'all really getting it in the way you say you getting it in and you not pregnant yet, girl, his swimmers might be dead. like he might need to go down to the fertility clinic and they, count out how many sperm he got. Because I'm like, if y'all really getting it in that way, then yeah, bro. Something might be wrong with him and it might not be you. You done got whatever you had figured out. So he need to get his figured out. So they pull up to the house. Phaedra comes out in her Babe Watch outfit like a lifeguard. We find out that Phaedra said she did used to do lifeguard work and teach swimming lessons. So we see Sweet Tea in the pool. She's struggling to float with a life jacket on. I was like, girl, what? You got Greg on the patio, like, in the surrounding area, not in the pool with them. Talk about stop tensing up. I can see you tensing up. Sounding like her father, okay? And she trying to kick and like, it was so cringy. When I tell you, like, adults that don't know how to swim bother me, because I feel like everybody should know how to swim to a certain extent. You should know how to doggy paddle, Okay, you should know how to float. Like every other animal species on this earth knows how to swim. Even birds can swim. Okay, there's that one bird that dives into the like ocean to grab its fish and then shoots back out. Like the fact that she can't swim bothers me, and it's like I appreciate more and more when my parents forced me and my sister to take swimming lessons down at the YMCA. We had to be in like second and first grade, and I think it was like guppies to like I think it was guppies, tuna, trout, or like salmon, then like shark to barracuda. Cause I think barracuda was like the kids who were like Olympic swimmers. But it's just like I think me and my sister got up to like salmon. Because I can do a like, I could backstroke and like I could do, regular strokes, things like that. And girl, I used to kill it on the butterfly. Now probably can't do that. But it's just kind of like it bothers me when adults don't know how to swim. Like I feel like everybody should know how to swim in case of an emergency, okay? And I'm not gonna lie, men that can't swim give me the ick. It's just, it is what it is. So she over there struggling in the water playing with Aiden. And when I tell you the optics, it was crazy. It looked like two parents watching their child having fun. Because you got Phaedra and Greg sitting on outside of the pool. Because Phaedra got out of the pool to go get snacks for them. And then Phaedra starts to talk to Greg about the situation that happened between Sweet Tea and Heavenly over at like the internet. And I talked about it all the time in my spicy corner. Now we're gonna have to call a thing a thing. As much as I like Dr. Heavenly, girl, you started it with that lady. And she came back and y'all kept going at each other and it kept getting worse and worse and worse. So Phaedra ends up asking Greg, like, so how are you about that? He was like, I feel some type of way. He was like, I didn't like the fact that Gregory pressed me at the reunion. And I'm like, well, why didn't you expect him to press you when your wife was on the internet saying that Heavenly told her that Damon cheated? Because that's where I think Sweet Tea really entered like the area of like no return for Heavenly. Because you know how Heavenly feels about her man. When she did that video, shouts out to the diva, leave my husband out of it. Where she said that Heavenly told her that Damon cheated on her. And Damon at the reunion asked Greg, like, you know me, we've been friends for years. Like, you really think I'm out here in these streets cheating? And Greg ended up saying, I don't know what you doing. Which is a valid response, but it's also like, bro, we've been friends for that long. You know I ain't cheated on my wife if he really didn't cheat on his wife. Now, am I putting that past him? No. But Heavenly, and then they also show Heavenly and Sweet Tea arguing back and forth. And Heavenly's like, girl, shut up. Ain't nobody talking to you. And then it went too far because Sweet Tea to do like, you told me that your husband cheated on you is because Heavenly was like, my dead mother has a better chance of conceiving with Greg than you do. And then when Sweet Tea did the whole like, well, you told me Damon cheated on you. That's when Heavenly came out and was like, Dr. G is not respected in the community, and that's real talk. Then she said hashtag abuser, hashtag controlling, hashtag she called him a pedia, and y'all know. And then hashtag team daddy, hashtag married to medicine. And even I was like, girl, that's too far. You can't be throwing out that type of allegation and not have proof. So Dr. Gregory, in my opinion, does have a right to feel some type of way. Phaedra was like, well, there's only a 500 and something black doctors. And like, we got to protect y'all. Girl, they're not an endangered species. I'm not playing that game with you, Phaedra. I don't do that whole, like, these are our men, because they don't be protecting black women themselves. But I understand where Phaedra was coming from. Now, where Phaedra lost me is when she was trying to act like, Heavenly prides herself on being a bully and a mean girl, but sometimes she takes it too far. And I'm like, the same person who accused somebody of trying to RAPE one of their cast members who's never apologized, you can't be saying that somebody's taking it too far when you do the same thing, lady. Okay? And the truth of the matter is like, this scene just annoyed me because it's like, Sweet Tea, people already think you act like a child to a certain extent. And the fact that they were sitting out in the pool and you was in the pool struggling, trying to swim while they're having this conversation about you and the person that you're fighting with, it just irritates me. I don't know. She just gives goober vibes. She gives like Weenie Hut Jr. If shouts out to all my SpongeBob fans, she just gives that. And then Gregory's voice is annoying, but I do think he has a valid point in being upset with Heavenly because she went too far and should legitimately apologize to him. But I also am irritated with Phaedra still being on this show because the way that she has talked about Married to Medicine as if like it was beneath her, when the only reason why you are on Real Housewives of Atlanta is because of your visibility with Married to Medicine and you being on Traders. Like, cut the cap, lady. And to try to act like you were the reasons why the numbers went up, when if you actually go and look at the numbers for Married to Medicine season 9 versus Married to Medicine season 10, they actually went down. Like, I just didn't like the scene. What we see is of Cecil and Simone going to Heavenly and Damon's house to have hibachi. Food look good. Anytime I go get hibachi, I need extra fried rice. I always get the scallops and shrimp, and I need a lot of yum yum sauce, as well as you need to give me 2 bowls of the salad with the ginger dressing. And I'm good. I'll leave you alone, sir. But they do the whole hibachi outside. It's a nice vibe. And then you have them sitting there eating. Cecil ends up thanking Damon and Heavenly for bringing them over. And then Cecil gets into his messy bag. You know, I don't fault when the men get messy on Married to Medicine, because I feel like collectively it's Married to Medicine. So I'm expecting the husbands to be messy too. Okay. So Cecil ends up being like, Damon, I know you trusted your wife to take care of everything, and she did a wonderful job. But has your wife told you about the mess that happened between her and Letitia? You got Simone being like, bro, you gonna get us kicked out. Shut up. Shut up. And he's like, and Cecil over there smirking, and Heavenly ends up saying, now all of y'all know that I don't play about my man. You mother tuckers know I don't play about that man. And if you gonna play with my man, I'm playing with yours. And I said, yeah, I'll give Heavenly that. She let y'all know at the gate, don't mess with daddy unless you want me to mess with yours. Okay. And so Heavenly even admits, I go far. Y'all know I be going too far. And I was wrong for that. But don't mess with my man. She also said in the confessional, she was like, she was like, where it got dangerous for me and Sweet Tea is when we was on that stage during the reunion, and she tried to say my man cheated. Now, do I put cheating past Damon? No, I don't put cheating past nobody, male, female, or anybody who identifies in between or outside the gender spectrum. Everyone has the propensity to cheat. And it's just like, it ain't that deep to me. Now, I did see some people say that the fact that Heavenly is going this hard makes them feel like it's true, and it could be true. But like Heavenly said, y'all know off rip with me since day one. You mess with my man, I'm coming for yours. And she has. Like, she legitimately has been that way since day one. So I was just like, and we're not going to act like Sweet Tea ain't been watching this show since its inception. When she slid into that man's DMs, talk about, I can give you what you need with a baby emoji, that lets me know that you was watching that when that man was begging Quad for a baby. So you know how that lady get down. You know how Heavenly gets down. You should have been smarter. So Heavenly ends up saying she do go too far, and she was wrong for that. And she was, and she do need to apologize for Greg for calling that man a pedia, because it's like, girl, you don't make them type of accusations unless you got proof. Now, the controlling part, I didn't fault her for that. And even the abusive part, I didn't fault her for that, because him and Quad did get into it. Now, was it abusive? We don't totally know, but it's definitely giving DV. Okay, because y'all both put hands on each other. And then the controlling part, I would agree because of Sweet Tea. The fact that Sweet Tea told us that man faked like someone broke into the house because she wasn't turning on the alarm, like, I would have dropped you after that. Because playing them types of games with me is liable to get you two to the face. Because the way my anxiety is set up, I would have been anxious for like at least a good 2 weeks. And then I would have been irritated, and I would have been pissed off at you. So don't play with me like that. Don't play with me like that. So the controlling part, I actually agree with, okay? So they then Heavenly ends up telling Simone, I think you need to apologize to Quad. So Simone is like, you too? And Heavenly's like, it just needs to be, so it needs to be apology. Like, yeah, I'm sorry for whatever. She said, no, I think you just need to apologize by saying, hey, I know my words hurt you. And that was like, she was like, and say something to the effect like, that was not my intent, but we're here and I'm sorry that you're hurt by my actions, and move on for that. And Simone even agrees that she does think she was wrong for what she did at the reunion, or the way that she brought the information up. And she knows Quad deserves an apology, but y'all not about to force her to do it. Then Cecil over there in the amen section trying to advocate for Quad. And Simone was like, I'm going to need Quad's representative to shut up. And I said, yes, Cecil, shut up. Shut up, Cecil. Shut up. Okay. Now, am I irritated by Cecil? To a certain extent, yeah. Like, we get it. You want your wife and Quad to be friends again, but forcing it is going to piss her off. And I'm like, bro, be a united front with me here, okay? But also, we know Quad and Cecil are like brother and sister. And he's always, like, in the beginning of Married to Medicine, Quad legit was, like, around Cecil and Simone. Like, the kids loved, like, when they got a divorce, I remember Simone telling Quad, me, Cecil, and the boys love you, so we got your back. We here for you right here. So I feel like Cecil has held on to them being that close and that tight, and he just wants them to get back to that. But shut up. We also find out that Cecil got his own confessional. I see you moving on up. Pretty much we saw a flashback scene with him inviting Quad to the Freaknik party, and he's hoping that if Quad and Simone see each other, they'll get back on the right track, pretty much. I said, you gonna get beat up. You are going to get beat up, sir. So it's time for the Freaknik, aka Whitnik party. We got Toya and Phaedra getting ready together. Jackie and Heavenly are getting ready together by trying on different wigs. Honestly, I don't know why Jackie didn't wear a wig. I also don't know why, what's her name? Heavenly picked the Baps wig. I was like, Baps does not remind me of Freaknik, girl. Like, what? But they were trying on wigs. We find out that Jackie wanted to go to Freaknik, but every time she tried to go, she had to work, so it just didn't happen for her. It wasn't in the cards. We end up seeing the people pull up, and some of the boys there were actually cute. They zoomed in on a group of them. I said, oh, okay, okay. I like that they had a guy there that was doing like graffiti art. That was cool. We see, what's it called? Jackie, what's his name? Curtis. Jackie, Curtis, Damon, and Heavenly get to the party first. They riding in one of the souped up cars. They look fun. We found out that Heavenly actually did go to Freaknik, but also she went in the earlier parts of Freaknik, and she was just like, it was a good time. She was like, I was at Florida A&M, and it was just a drive up the street. So she was like, it was a good time. Damon said same thing as Jackie, that like every time he tried to go, he was in medical school. So it was always a test or something happening that he couldn't go. Simone and Cecil making their entrance, and they have like the car that jumps, and all you can hear is Simone screaming. I probably would have been screaming too, but it looked fun. And the car just bouncing and bouncing and bouncing. And so everyone's excited when she gets out the car. We end up seeing Jackie, Simone, and Heavenly taking pictures together. We then see Toya, Eugene, and Phaedra get there. They look cute. Eugene had his Howard hat, and they was like, girl, get that out of here. This is Spelman and Morehouse. But we found out that the time that Freaknik was going on, Eugene was like 17 or 18. I think Eugene was like 17 or 18. Like he couldn't, he could go, but he probably get arrested doing illegal activities. Then we see Damon. Out of everybody, Damon really didn't dress up, which I hate those types of people. Like, if it's a theme party, come in theme. I'm not saying you have to go all out, but at least like try, But Damon was just like, this honestly how I would dress if I went to Freaknik. Like, I like a broke college student, like a t-shirt, a hat, and some pants, and call it a day. But everybody else looked really fun. I actually really liked Phaedra's outfit. I like Simone's outfit. And there was this one girl, and I wish I would have got a picture. She had the braids all the way down, and she had like an airbrush shirt. She was so cute. Like, her hair was cute. Like, she ate that up. Okay, and I loved it. Guests to arrive are, Greg, Sweet Tea, Contessa, and Scott. And everyone was shocked to see Contessa and Scott. But before that, girl, I would never want to try a Coke 45. It has never looked good to me. Like, the way Dr. Heavenly's face like scrunched up after she took a swig of that stuff, I said it looked like piss in a jar. I don't want it. But they get there. Everyone's shocked to see Contessa. You got Toya in her confessional being like, girl, what? Jackie being like, well, there go the party. There goes the party. And then Heavenly is like, I guess they here to both beat my ass. I said, probably so, because they don't like you, girl. They don't like you. So Contessa's in the confessional being like, did you miss me? I'm back. And I'm going to be honest, I didn't. Did I appreciate what Contessa gave us in her earlier seasons? Yes, but closer to the end of Contessa's stay, I felt like she started trying to changed the narrative that she pretty much put out there. You know, like you put out there that you and Scott was having issues. Now, was I on her side when they did the whole intervention thing with Heavenly during season 9? Yeah, because I do think at times Dr. Heavenly go too far on her channel when it comes to saying that these, like when she gets her commentary, because you're saying that these women are your friends, but yet where I took the most issue was the comment section, because there were people in them comment sections going in on the ladies, like I mean going in, and the only person that wasn't getting the flag was Dr. Jackie, because the people that support Dr. Heavenly knows how much Dr. Heavenly like respects and reveres Dr. Jackie, but everybody else on the cast was getting it. And I mean getting it hard. And I always felt like, girl, give your opinion, but you need to curate them comments. And she never did that. And I didn't like that. So when they checked her, or when they did the whole intervention during season 9, I thought it was warranted. Where I felt like Contessa lost me that season was when she was trying to act like Heavenly was causing issues in her marriage, when it was like, no, that was you two. You and Scott showed us y'all had issues in your marriage. Very much so. very, very much so. Like you were switching every other week. It was like, I don't want to be a doctor. I want to be a stay-at-home mom, to like, now I want to be a doctor and I want to own a practice, to I'm bodybuilding, to like I want to go get my master's and be an attorney general, by going to live in Tennessee, and Scott and the kids was driving back and forth and you were upset and all of this. Like legit, Contessa, the way he was moving was letting us know you was having issues with Scott. So you can't just blame that on Heavenly. And you were okay when Heavenly was talking shit about other people's marriages, but then when she got to your marriage, all of a sudden it's hands off. So no, girl, you should have been cool with what was happening. So she comes up to the group. They're all happy to see her for the most part. Heavenly gives her a hug. Shouts out to T.S. Madison, because I saw her standing next to Phaedra in the huddle, and she like made a face when she saw Contessa, like, oh, she here? She filming. Okay, love me some T.S. Madison. And Heavenly, Heavenly hugs Contessa, and Dr. Contessa in her confessional was like, I can't believe she hugged me, like we're long lost friends. We're like long lost enemies. Like maybe it's because I'm in a costume. She don't know it's me. I said, you doing all this talking in the confessional, but you didn't push her away. You hugged her. You didn't say, don't touch me like Giselle did to Wendy. So clearly you was cool with it. I can't with you, Contessa. We're not going to do this the whole entire season. Continuing, the people's is dancing, twerking, drinking, eating. You see Sweet Tea mean mugging Dr. Heavenly. We then see Cecil and Simone get on stage, and, they're welcoming everybody and talking about why they're celebrating. And then next thing you know, you see a car pull up, and it's Quad in the car. And Simone is standing there with the mic like, oh, we have an uninvited guest, because she came late, because everybody that was like in the cars, like coming in for their entrance, they were parking the cars in certain areas so people could take pictures with them. So Quad gets there late. Heavenly is super excited to see Quad. You got Cecil in the confessional with Simone, and Simone was like, really? And he's like, well, and so Quad says in her confessional, I'm here because Cecil invited me. So it is what it is. You see Cecil give her a big hug. You also see Contessa and what's her name? Sweet Tea talking, where I think Contessa ends up asking Sweet Tea, so have you talked to anybody else here? She was like, no, like I talked to everybody except the dentist, aka Heavenly. So pretty much we see a confessional of Simone where she's like, girl, I don't cower to what fans say about me. I live authentically in who I am, which I love. Like, you're not gonna bully me to apologize to somebody, especially if my response was authentic and I meant it at that time. Sitting in the confessional, she ends up being like, I don't get why Jackie and Heavenly are so quickly apologizing to Quad, because I'm not doing it. And we find out that in a flashback that Jackie did apologize to Quad. We end up seeing Eugene, Toya, and Quad actually be nice to each other and say hello and hug each other, which they come a long way. And it's all because Quad actually apologized to them at the last reunion, and Eugene accepted it, because Eugene, Quad, and Toya used to go back and forth like nobody's business. But Eugene was like, as a Christian, you supposed to like turn the other cheek, and I agree with that. So I'm gonna move on with my life, and and I'm glad she's back. So we see Angel White. She was on Basketball Wives LA, and she's Quad's friend. So I think we might see her a lot this season. We also see Quad and Simone embrace. You know, they hug each other. Quad makes mention in her confessional that we just sweeping it under the rug right now because this ain't the time or place to have this type of conversation. You then see Toya end up pulling Simone to the side and be like, well, have you told Quad that you want to have a conversation with her? And Simone's like, no, because I'm drunk and I want to talk to her right now. Okay. And Toya's like, okay. So we see another conversation happen between Contessa and Sweet Tea. And I guess I don't know if Contessa prompted Sweet Tea or Sweet Tea just took it on herself to go speak to Damon. So basically Sweet Tea is trying to explain her issue with Heavenly to Damon. And I was like, girl, don't ever go up to, like, if it's my man, don't be trying to tell me like he runs me. Like my man is like the orator of my life. Like what? So she goes up there trying to explain to Damon like their issues. And they end up flashing on the screen like what kicked off like the progression of their fight. So they show the tweets when Heavenly says, Sweet Tea tries to backpedal and say that like the comment she said about him cheating, she didn't like mean it that she knew you were cheating. She just pretty much threw it out there because, you know, her and Heavenly was going back and forth. And Damon's like, yeah, I get it. You don't know me. I don't know you. So like, it is what it is. I wouldn't, it's no sweat off my back. But what I have an issue with is your husband. So then Damon comes up there and he's like, oh, I'm glad y'all are talking. So that's when Dr. Gregory was like, I have an issue with you. Like, when I questioned you back in New York and I asked you like, you know my character, you know me, and you basically didn't vouch for me, that bothered me. And so Damon says in his confessional with Heavenly, like, I wasn't trying to get him to validate what was said. What I was trying to get him to do is validate our friendship because we've been friends for so long and you playing in my face. And on one hand, I get where Damon is coming from. Like, bro, you even friends this long. Like, if you don't got no proof that I cheated and I ain't never given you that type of energy before, or you didn't ever think that about my character, then you should have checked your wife. But I also see Greg being like, well, you let your wife run amok. Why can't I let mine? This is what it is. Just what it is. So then Heavenly comes up being like, I don't like no woman talking to no man. Without me being there. So she's standing beside her husband. Greg is like, hi, Heavenly. And Greg is like, hello. He was like, and she's like, how you been? He's like, not too great. And she's like, me neither. So in this moment, I was Phaedra, because Phaedra made a face when they started arguing, like, ooh, girl. Because Heavenly doesn't respect Sweet Tea. She don't like her, so she don't respect her. Because then Heavenly ends up being like, girl, where's your mama? Let me talk to your mama, not you. Then she was like, bitch, get the fuck up off me. I said, Heavenly, she's not even on you. So then Sweet Tea said, if she keep running her mouth, I'm going to send her a cease and desist. I said, I don't know how that's going to work because you're on a reality show where y'all go back and forth. But I was like, if I was you, I wouldn't try to get legal things in this matter, because that's how you get kicked off of shows. Like, I think there's a clause in every contract that you can't go that far with people, but I'm just like, hey, it is what it is. So then Simone is like, see, this is why Freaknik got canceled, because all the beef is in the fight, and we're not trying to do this here. But honestly, it is what it is. I'm happy they're back. I'm ready for the ride. When I tell you I'm so ready for the ride that is about to come with Married to Medicine, because I feel like this is going to be a really solid, good season. And yeah, y'all, that is it. That is all. As always, remember to be bravely authentic and definitely hop down in the comments below. And I'm out, y'all. Deuces.